So we were looking at, if you look at, like, if you ever notice, like, I'll go into our TNT team page every now and then, and I'll answer questions like on objections and things like that. And one thing is, like, if I talk to somebody, like, I'll close them. I don't get any objections anymore, whether it's money, time, whatever. And the reason why is because number one, I studied being a network marketing professional, and that's huge. So like the book GoPro or Eric Worre's training series, that's like, it lets you get used to what the, hold on,
yeah, no, take your time. I'm going to check on him, see if I can work on.
Okay. So it all comes to like deciphering things. So like when someone says they don't have time or they don't have the money or whatever, then basically you transfer it into like, what does it really mean? Because if they're giving you an objection, that means that they're interested, but a lot of it is reflex, because of preconceived notions, or it's just reflex because it's reflex. And so it's up to us to ask the right questions, but excuse me, it's like a 3-step process. So with everybody, whether it's the business opportunity, whether it's the product, everything is relate, tell a story, and then ask a question over and over again. Relate, tell a story, ask a question. And so what happens is that no matter what anybody says, you understand. The first thing you do is, oh, I totally understand, or I totally whatever that they're talking about. And then the next thing is that you tell them a story about whatever their objection is or how they overcame it. And if you don't know, like, if you don't have personal experience with it, then let me tell you a story about my fiance. Let me tell you a story about one of our coaches. And then you end the story, and then you end it with, if I did this, something that solved whatever the is, would you be ready to move forward? You basically, you form things because you've got so much conviction in what it is that it just makes sense for them to. Like, they already explained to us what their significant need is. If that makes any sense. And then what it is that you get confident with it and you get really good at it. Now, the other thing is that if you look at our teams, now the downside is that if someone comes to me, like, I get a lot of patients and a lot of parents, and like, I'll have people buy challenge packs and psychology every single day because I'm an extremely trusted and credible source, between whether it's professionally or whether it's the fact that they see me treat their child. So when they ask me for a recommendation and I ask them what their needs are, it's just smooth. Now, that works really well when you're selling the products. However, in terms of attracting the right people to build a business, I'm attracting people that primarily all they see is the vision of helping people, and they see like this like vision of like, this is like an awesome fun game. Money's not the primary thing, and that's the problem. Like, if you look at my posts like on Facebook, or if you look at what I talk about, my posts on Facebook they're like motivational. They're very like they're very sensitive. I mean, they kind of move people. However, it doesn't really, I'm never really talking about like how it's giving me financial freedom, because I mean, yeah, the income is awesome. However, that wasn't my primary reason for going into it. And so if you look at Brooke, for example, her posts are exactly what you need to attract the right people, because her posts are about how she's able to quit her full-time hygiene job, how she's able to, take her dogs on walks and be able to spend time and have time to raise her kids, and to be able to now have a job where she's actually making an impact every single day. She's changing lives every single day, and she's able to cook dinner for me every night, like things like that. And people relate directly to that. So I know that you came in, by the way, I knew you came in late on the call. I was just finished talking to Jess about some things. But anyway, so that was my little 2 cents about that. So I'll be doing a video on kind of my struggle with that and how I need to transition how I connect with people to want to build the business rather than just, you know, it's like whatever I say, they say yes, but that's not going to build, that's not going to bring other people to really be their own leaders. It'll just bring you followers. So anyway, Jess, you're on.
I was going to tell you, well, Dr. Page, this is Dr. Lipoff. He is a pediatric dentist. And honestly, Jason, I don't know what diamond coach you are, but he is one of our diamond uplines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I just want to tell you, we were talking today, you know, Dr. Page asked me a good question. He said, so why wouldn't I sign everybody up as a coach in the beginning? I said, you know, that's a good question, and that's a great way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe, and he may have a couple questions too, but Dr. Page, I did tell him a little bit about you and what you do also.
Thank you.
So I, in terms of my rank, so right now I'm a 1-star diamond, and the way it works is I have 4 diamonds underneath me, and I have 3 on one side and I have 1 on the other. So I'm not balanced. So once I have another one on the other side, then I'll be a 5-star qualifying. But right now I'm only a 1. And then Brooke, who's my fiance, is underneath me, and she is, I mean, her business is insane. And she's a 4-star, I mean 4-star right now, but consistently building building her team. So she's on one of my legs, and then of course I have another leg. If we would have known what we were doing, and again, I'm not sure if you know what the way that the binary system works, but basically, if someone had told us how to sign up in the first place, she would have signed up first, and I would have signed up on her weak leg, and that would have been the best building opportunity. But as it stands now, basically, it's going to work out fine, because the way it works with Beachbody is when you get to a certain level, you are able to actually open up. Basically, it's almost like you have a chiropractic office. You're able to open up another office or another location, and you can pick that location. And with Beachbody, that location, you can actually stack it on your spouse's business hours. So effectively, what ends up happening is all the volume that ends up being run through, you end up virtually doubling your income. So it's a pretty nice nice structure that is, I'll be honest, I think a year and a half ago when I started this, I mean, being in the medical field, we're very knowledgeable in certain things. I did have a business background, but I really didn't know about network marketing. But I did know about the systems that work on compensation, but then also work on residual incomes and downline. Mm-hmm. And so when I started to kind of study it, I'm like, wow, it works out that obviously Beachbody is something that I think is in direct reflection of people's health. But the theory of network marketing, it is, to me, I love the fact that so many people are in the dark about it. Like people, there's just so many doubters, and that's, as human beings, we're just pessimistic people. But I like that, because if everybody wanted to be in it, then there would just be more competition. Like it's such a brilliant thing for anybody, whether somebody like me who was coming in kind of financially independent, or people that really would love to build a second stream of income. To me, I think it's one of the only things where you can you create the control of your, of your life, rather than putting just money in a 401k. It's very new to what previous generations really understand, because people understand you save 10% of your income or whatever, and you put in a 401k, and then when you retire, then you've got a certain amount, and then you live. And I think that how old are you right now?
I'm 33.
You're 33. Okay, so you're one. So I'm 37. Mm-hmm. And so, the one thing is, I do a lot of readings on like the next generations, and the millennials, they don't really think like us. I mean, the millennials are really living in the now, and it's like 180 degrees different than like what our parents understand. So you get this like huge disconnect. And I think that the idea is, like, for instance, you're as a chiropractor, that's like the best field because you are providing positive social impact. You're providing a need for people. And on top of it, you can combine the chiropractic skills with overall wellness. And I think that that's where things are going because people don't want to be out of control. I mean, it's, people, living in Louisville and working in Southern Indiana, I see the parents every day and it's like, they're like, there's nothing they can do about their health. As much as they try, nothing seems to work. And they go to the doctor and it's like more and more diagnoses just keep popping up. And that's it. It's out of their control. And so it's kind of, it's nice to be able to offer people another opportunity and give them control over their life again. And, that's, as you can see, by the way, I go off on tangents all over the place.
I'm the same way.
So tell me, what interested you in Beachbody or Shakeology, or how did you want to incorporate it in your practice? Or
well, I mean, this goes hand in hand with what my goal and mission is as a chiropractor. I'm about complete wellness. I'm not the typical chiropractic office that is totally concerned with pain and symptoms. I want to look at the bigger picture. There's a bigger picture to the pain and symptoms. There's a reason why the pain and symptoms are there. And, I want to help chiropractically. I want to help with nutrition. I want to help with exercise. And so when Jessica brought this to my attention, this was just, I'm all about it. So for me, at this point, I'm just wanting to learn and be as confident as you are about it and be able to speak about it confidently to people and know the ins and outs and be able to answer questions the way that you guys can. Cause I'm relatively new to the program. I just started a month ago. So, I'm one of those kind of people that once I get it in my head and once I get a grasp on it, I'm going to go with it full force. It's just, I don't have the knowledge at this point to be able to get there just yet, which is why I told Jessica, if she could set this conference call up, it'd be great.
Yeah. What's interesting is that there's two kind of things going on with what you're asking in terms of knowing the more information. So what we think in the medical community is the more knowledge we get, the more research you acquire about whatever product you're going to recommend. That's really what's needed. And the answer is yes and no. The answer is yes for your own credibility and your own confidence behind the product.
Right. That's what I mean.
Okay. What I found is I remember I had signed up coaches that were other anesthesiologists and they couldn't get past what they kept doing is basically when they make the recommendation, spewing out the research and this and that, and they would maybe sell some products, they would sign up some coaches, but that's not duplicatable. What's duplicatable is learning how to, which you obviously have, is basically it's like a 3-step process. It's establishing rapport with them, finding out what they need. When you're establishing rapport, that's where they're getting the trust. That comes from posture. It comes from the passion of what you're talking about. It comes from your purpose. And then after that, you are finding out, you've been through the rapport, you find out what their needs are. You're mentally thinking, okay, what are they lacking? What do they need? Why do they need it? And then you tell them a story. You either tell them a story of your own, or if you're brand new, or if it doesn't relate to you, then you tell a story about somebody else, or you produce and this is kind of in the grand scheme of things, a third-party tool. So for instance, videos or a conference call or something about the product or some literature along with it. And then after that, you kind of pose the question and saying, if I, whatever they need, would you be ready to move forward? That kind of thing. That's kind of you don't need to use that exact terminology, but that's like the process of how you really duplicate. Okay.
Right.
So your first process is, and this is what I was talking about with Jessica, is I've had the problem of I can just recommend something, and then I have people, and they're loving Shakeology, and they're loving the challenge packs and everything. However, it's because I've recommended it. It's not really because it was their decision, and that's one of the biggest things. So if you want to share Shakeology and sell Shakeology in your office for the commissions, then you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? You can really do it whichever way, because the product is amazing. You're going to get confident when you look through the Shakeology videos, all the Shakeology information in the Coach Online office, through testimonials, through looking at YouTube videos, just things like that, or the challenge groups. You're slowly but surely just kind of understanding the community.
Right.
That will give you the credibility. Now, if you want to start to transition it into, okay, I want to start to build a team, now your questioning starts to change.
Right.
And to, like, when you're presenting the opportunity, and that is rightfully so. I think with a lot of the medical community is the hardest to step out of the comfort zone. Because me personally, it's almost like, listen, I can just say it and they'll buy it, and I've got to like go back and tell all this nonsense,
right?
All the storytelling. So that's been like the transition for me, but that's like the fun challenge about it. I mean, it's like, well, what would be fun if it was just boring, if I just had it on the shelves and they just keep buying it? I mean, that's
right.
Helping people, but I think, life is kind of a challenge. A good way, I think, for you in your office is to where you kind of have, the bags and everything like that, but then you also have something that's really nice that shows maybe people walking on a beach or whatever, something showing the freedom.
Right. That's what I was telling Jessica. Like, I really need some marketing tools, because, I get busy sometimes and I might forget to say things to people that really need to hear it. So if I had that information in my office for people to see, then they might say something to me, and that would prompt me to talk more to them about it. And telling Jessica, for me, it's not necessarily about the income, which, I'm listening to you and talking to her about the finances of it, and it sounds great. But for me, I've got a lot of patients that need to lose weight, and a lot of their symptoms are directly related to their weight. And I know that this program can help them, and I just want to feel confident that I can communicate that with them. And, for the ones that are motivated individuals, I would spend more time coaching them so that they can build their own teams,
Yes.
But for me, it's really just to get it in my head and feel confident about it in a way that I can speak about it. And, when people ask me questions, I've got the answer. I'm not unsure of myself, because I'm one of those kind of people that once I know what I'm talking about, I can communicate it easily. So that's what I want to do, is I just want to feel confident that I can communicate it and I'm saying the right thing. And I'm touching base with people that are motivated and that can grow a team. And, and then from there, if I can build a, financial income from it, great. But for me, it's just about spreading the word and helping people.
So the one thing, and it's funny that you're talking about this, because I was just talking about this with Brooke tonight, is one thing that you're going to want to do is, number one, your reason for doing this is like the number one reason. That's awesome. You're like, I'm doing this because I want to spread the word. I want to help people. You definitely want to make it clear, and this is something that, again, that I'm carving out right now, is even though it's not financially motivated, what will this allow me to do? Like, what will, pay off my extra car payment? You know what I mean? We're able to go on an extra trip or whatever, because if it's going to be a business opportunity, something in terms of the freedom that it produces has to be added. And that way you won't just sign up coaches that want to just help people, because that in and of itself won't allow people to really push past it and understand their real, the fact that this is their financial freedom. Like, this will give them, where it starts 100, 200, now, you're at $3,000 a week. And I mean, like, imagine what could that do for you? And now it's individual, like things like that, where they can really, that needs to be kind of thought about. So you want to kind of take some time and kind of say, well, what would extra, an extra so-and-so kind of provide me? And I think that's and then you want to also get some passion behind it. Like this is where I'm coupling that with helping people, lead a healthy, fulfilling life. I mean, the mission of Beachbody is to help people achieve their goals to lead healthy, fulfilling lives.
Right.
And it's a community of people that just makes you better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, to me, that's awesome. Beachbody, boom, poof, disappear tomorrow. You're still a better person every single day.
Right.
So I think that where Jessica was asking about, signing up everybody, as a coach, there's actually a lot of people, there's people that do that, where they sign everybody up as a discount coach. And they call them a distributor or discount coach, whatever you want to call it. And, knowing that in the future, if they decide to like Shakeology, stay on, it's $15.95 a month, or if they're military, it's free. And if they don't like it, then they can, then they can stop doing it. But I've always made that argument because $129.99, and then if it's 25% off, it's $97.49, and then $15.99 for the business services fee. That's still less than $129.99.
Right.
So,
that's what she was telling me. That's why I was asking her, like, why would anybody in their right mind not want to, be a coach? There's so many benefits to it.
Yeah, I think it's what it is it's the preconceived notion of what am I signing up for? They think that it is they may think that there still is a catch. And so one way that I've gotten around that is just like I said before, I totally understand what you're saying. Here's what I did when I signed up, and then I would use my story because Brooke and I, we signed up as discount coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say when we signed up, we knew we loved Shakeology. We knew how much it was doing for us. And as a distributor or a coach or a discount coach, whatever your wording you want to use, mm-hmm. I knew that we were going to be getting 25% off our products. And is that I'm not sure if that's something that would interest you, but that's something that interested us because we knew that it was changing our life. You see, I'm using those words, by the way. I use the same words that they use for what they are looking for, by the way. I always do. Right. And then I'll say, is that, would that interest you? Man, they all say yes. It's like, but it's because it's, again, I'm not telling them that's what they should do. I'm not recommending it. I'm using a story and then I'm asking them to make a decision for themselves. So, that's kind of the way. Now, the reason why the only downside to signing up a coach and if they don't do anything is, well, you don't get any volume from them if they don't even, like, let's say they don't stand Shakeology or whatever. Customers, you make $32 a month. But you're smart. You don't build in this business without signing up coaches. And so it's the point is exposure. When people sign up, they get a discount coach email from us, which has some great value to it, which kind of plants the seeds. But also in the back of my mind, the reason why I have always done it is I'm of the firm belief that if you are just a customer, you could drop out at any time and you'll never succeed. And the only way that you will, in my 37, 38 years of life, and I've been in fitness, and if somebody comes and they really haven't figured things out, I honestly think that this is the smartest way to start to get their life back. It doesn't mean it's not about Shakeology. It's about a community of people that are talking about exercising and eating right and just holding you accountable. If you don't have this, even if you went to Advocare or Isogenics or whatever, like that's just one little aspect, and it's very heavily income related, which is great. Except, we combine both, and I think that that's our, especially with your office, just like my own mission, is that it's both. It's that it's income related, and we're really trying to help people. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you. I love signing up people as, just as discount coaches. There's people that do very well with it, and then there's people that they end up having a bunch of discount coaches nobody ends up wanting to build. But you never know. Brooke has a lot of people that sign up as discount coaches, and then they watch the video, and then they're like, the Lindsay Matway videos, and they're like, well, I'm a 2 or a 3, like I'm ready to get going. When they were just a discount coach, because they realize the possibility and the freedom it can do for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's really smart.
Well, I'm when I get into doing this, and I really, once I get the information, I get it in my head and I start talking to people, I'm going to be seeking out people that are really, truly motivated and ready to do something, ready to change their life. Not, that's why I was telling Jessica, why sign up anybody as a customer, not as a coach? Because, I'm looking for people that are motivated, that really want to achieve better health and are passionate about talking to other people about it. When I get ready to do this, I want it to spread like wildfire, and you're right. I mean, not only do I want to help people, but who can't use more finances? I got student loans just like everybody else in the medical field that could pay those off. So, that would be a great thing if I can make some additional money and pay off student loans. So yes, my first mission is to help people. Making money is just a byproduct of that. And I'm going to be looking for people that are motivated and want to change their life and want to achieve better health, not just signing people up as customers that aren't serious about it. I'm probably not even going to talk to people like that.
That's awesome. To me, that's passion right there. Like, you're going to, not only are you going to sign up the right people, but you're going to trim the fat.
Honestly, I do the same thing with chiropractic. When people come into me with physical issues and complaints, and I ask them on their very first visit, it takes commitment. Are you ready to put forth the commitment that it's going to take? Because if you're not, right now is not the time for you. And I'll do the same thing with Shakeology. When they come to me complaining about being overweight, I'm going to say, I've got a plan for you. Are you committed? And if you're not committed, then now's not the right time for you.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
That's how I am. It's either, you either do it or you don't do it. There's no middle ground.
That's awesome. It's like, you commit to me and I'll commit to you. It's like one of those.
Absolutely. It's teamwork. If I'm your coach, then it's going to take teamwork on both of our parts.
Yeah. I think that's awesome, because then, what you're doing is, you're providing the passion, but you're also giving the realization of it, saying, listen, this may not be for you. This is, I need somebody that is, that's dedicated, that is serious. And that means that you're going to build, a smart way.
I just don't want to put forth, a lot of time and energy with people that aren't serious about it. I don't want to waste my time, so I'm going to give them the options, and, they're going to make the choice. Just like you said, you just put it out there. You ask them point blank, are you committed? Are you ready to change your life? If you are, great, let's do it. If you're not, let's move on to a time when you are ready.
That's, I think that's great. As a matter of fact, I think we should tell everybody on our team to only sign up coaches, because that's awesome.
That's the way I'm going to go with it. I'm not here to get customers. I'm here to get people that want to change their life and want to help other people change their life. If they're not that serious about it, then, they can move on.
Right. See, like
I said, it's for me, all I really need in order to get the ball rolling is just to get that confidence under me, get the know-how and the knowledge about, because when Jessica started explaining all this to me, I'm going to admit, I was overwhelmed at first, because, you've got Shakeology, you've got Beachbody, you've got P90X, you've got, and it was hard for me initially to kind of put it all together and make sense of it. So, and I'm getting better, but there's still some unanswered questions. And so, and I know the program works. I've looked at the statistics. I'm the kind of person that when I hear about something, I do the research. I look at it. I've looked at this program. I know it works, and I just need to know confidently how to communicate that with other people. And then, this is my team's going to be strong.
Yeah. Well, number one, I can tell it's going to be strong, because it's good. He sounds like me, by the way. This is good. It's got good energy. The success comes, by the way, in terms of how it's almost like, so for instance, if you're going to sign up people as coaches right away, whether I would call it the training period. The training period is that they need to see let's just use, it could be this book that I'm reading right now, What Motivates Me. There is, just like anything, just like in chiropractic school, whatever, you have to go to school. And part of our education is that there's certain things. Number one, that you need to be working on yourself every day. And that's personal development. That's
what I'm doing.
which is awesome. Yeah, things like that. But then also whatever the product is. So let's say you sold a hand cream. You want to have experience with using it and that it works, and that what has this done for you? Why would you have that hand cream? Now, if I'm going to be the world's best hand cream seller in the world, do I need to have used the product? The answer is actually no. You just have to be a phenomenal storyteller. And you have to be a phenomenal person to ask questions. Now, if you've never used the product and you are a phenomenal storyteller, how the heck are you going to get rapport? That rapport could come from the credibility that you have in your position in the community. It could come from your person. Like I've studied rapport for months and months and months. And so one thing I've worked on personally has been, how do I relate to people through communication, through modeling, through mirroring, and really getting to know them so that I could probably recommend a grapefruit and they would buy it. And if they needed a grapefruit. And so I think that's the important thing is that whatever it is that you are, so you've got the product, and then you say to yourself, okay, am I somebody that's going to be a phenomenal storyteller, or am I going to be a storyteller, but I'm going to be a product of the product, which is obviously a much easier route to go. And I believe in this. Obviously with Beachbody, that's the easy route because this is a direct reflection of what our purpose and mission is, to help other people. So what they are able to do is it's all based on the challenge. So the challenge is basically putting people in these accountability groups to hold them accountable to achieving their goals. So whether it's getting healthy, whether it's they want to lose weight, or they want to be happy, whatever it is, it has to do with providing them with daily nutrition every day, providing them with a meal plan where they get portion controls, they're eating the right things, and that they're committing to daily exercise. And as coaches, what we do is we find out what their goals are, and then we help them. All we do is we help them understand that it's not the goals, is that Beachbody has the proven structure. It's drink Shakeology once a day, commit to an exercise program, follow the meal plan. Doesn't mean 100%, but that's like the proven structure. And then of course you've got personal development, drinking water, and sleep are my 4th, 5th, and 6th ones that I track with people. And I say, that's the proven system. And so what we do is that we don't go 14 days, we don't go 21 days, we go 7 days at a time. We create a goal. What do you want to do? And they can tell me anything. They can tell me weight. They could tell me whatever. All that goal is that lets us know what behaviors that we need to brainstorm. But we know what it is because Beachbody tells us what 6 behaviors that we need to track.
Right.
And so at the end of the week, we say to ourselves, okay, where do we succeed? Where do we fail? And then instead of looking at the failure as giving up, say, well, why? Did we fall off track? Was something on our mind? How do we prevent that next time? Did we not prepare? What was it? And then you assess. As coaches, that's all we do. We just go over the thing with them. That's very easily duplicatable to tell anybody to do. Mm-hmm. And then they move on to the next week. You can't do it for them. You're not there to explain their pathosis or whatever it is. It's basically all we're here to do between us and the challenge group is to hold each other accountable.
Right.
Through our stories of posting our workouts, posting our meals. These are different ways that people get enjoyment at holding themselves accountable. Mm-hmm. So that's what Beachbody does. That's how we get success, because people are able to get momentum, but keep momentum past their struggles and past. Now, it doesn't mean that you'll still see a lot of people succeed because, not succeed because, in all honesty, the coach has not really explained to the challenger, this is what this is. This is how you are going to achieve your results in its entirety. If you just drink Shakeology, or if you're not drinking Shakeology, you're doing other things, they can still achieve their goals. However, this is what the Beachbody structure is. This is why it's such a proven method.
Right.
So that's really as complicated as the structure gets.
Yeah, I mean, Jessica was in the office earlier when I was talking to a patient of mine about the program. And I feel like I've got general knowledge to where I can talk about it. I can talk about, the components of the program and how it works. But I guess my biggest question is, since I'm of the mindset that I'm only going to sign up coaches, how do I explain it to them, the financial structure? Like when they start asking me, when I tell them about the financial structure of it, I don't know how to explain that part. So if I have a patient come to me and I get them signed up as a coach, and I've got this woman signed up as a coach today, by the way, but I'm kind of dreading the question about the financial structure because I don't know how to tell them. I mean, I hear people talking about the emeralds and the diamonds. I have no idea what that means.
So none of that they don't need to know. And on top of that, the trick with a lot of that is we don't need to know much of anything. We just need to know where to find it. And again, the key to network marketing is what duplicates. And so how does somebody who's a brand new coach succeed? Point them where to go. So if somebody's asking a question, there's a video for it. There's a video for the compensation plan. There's a video for there's the what is Beachbody.
Is it on Beachbody? Like, can I go to the website and?
Yeah, if you go to one of the best ones to.
I've sent you some videos in email and some on your.
Oh, it's in there. Okay.
There's a training group also that I've got you in, and you'll find that stuff there too.
Okay.
But I can send you that info again.
Okay. All right.
I don't mind at all.
Okay, I'm gonna look at it.
If you go to on YouTube and just what is Team Beachbody, there's one that's 7 minutes, and that explains everything. I mean, it's a 7-minute thing that I give to people. It goes everything of why you should be a coach and the compensation plan. It's their little thing, but they don't need to know why to be an emerald and stuff before they sign up. I mean, literally, it's
right.
Do they have a reason?
Well, I mean, and that's not something that I would immediately start hitting them with because, that would confuse them. And I don't want to confuse people.
Right.
But I just want to know it that way when the question, I basically am the kind of person that I want to know all the ins and outs. That way, if the question ever arises, I've got the answer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. There's training. There's also, hold on, let me show you something really quick. Let me pull this up. I'll share my screen in 1 second. Okay. All right. Share screen. Okay. All right. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So in the Team Beachbody Coach Online office, this is, right when coaches sign up, besides the welcome letter, I send them over here to news and training tab. This is all brand new. And then they click learn more. And then they go do this, know this, learn how. They literally it just walks you through. So as soon as somebody signs up, I have them go through this. And then the review the getting started, which is basically they download the 3 vital behaviors, the business quick start, which they're going to complete, and you can actually do it online. And then 3 videos. It goes through the Coach Online office, the teambeachbody.com website, and your profiles and websites, setting yourself up there, that video. When they're done there, they go to Coach. And then this is where you really start to learn about what are your daily behaviors, what should you be doing, again, do this, know this, learn how, and then the what are your first benchmarks? And in the do this, there's basically what should you be doing every day? What are your minimum requirements a month? And then, of course, there's coach training. But in here, it says make sure that you contact your upline to get in the next monthly coach training. And every month we have new coach training. But what happens is just by doing that, they're getting started and then doing the coach. And then after they're done with coach, they don't need to go to Emerald yet because they're not Emerald yet. By reading through all these and then by printing out the business quick start or by downloading it and filling it out, and then they call me and say, I'm ready to set up my getting started when I call. That tells me they're serious. But I walk them through this. I have a little video that basically says, okay, welcome to the team. And this is the first things. This is the same thing as what Brooke has in also. So which is the other thing that you can do is the Fit Boss Dynasty, which is a mobile app, which is really nice because it just says, start here. But this is really good. Meeting resource. Oh, the training library is basically all the files, how to hold business tracking, shake and share, challenger groups, coach basics program. That's later. Compensation plan. Here's a video. How to earn bonuses. Finding customers, follow up, getting started for new coaches. I mean, coach action plan. It's got everything.
Wow. Honestly, I saw the site, but I didn't know how to really get around and find all this stuff. I'm glad you brought it up because I think this is going to answer all my questions.
Yeah. It goes through everything. I mean, it's, and this is one of the things is that when I first signed up, I went through Coach Wayne's 60-day program, which I love. Wayne Wyatt 60-day program. It was just, that was for me. We went through, we discussed personal development every day. I like that long. I got to understand. The one thing I do know is I know this business like backwards and forwards. Because I honestly think it's because of learning it for 60 days. For somebody like you also, where you are coming in with the credibility, that may be something also that you may be interested in. I know he's starting a new training group. I was all about doing as much as I could at the beginning. I wanted to meet as many people. I was in like 2 training groups. I was totally overextended, but I was sucking in everything. But I knew that I wasn't going to get overwhelmed. So I'm mentioning it to you because I wouldn't mention it to a lot of people because the average person that I attract, they're already overwhelmed with life. So I wouldn't recommend them doing a 60-day program and then new coach training and everything. But I loved that. I loved being a part of, and by the way, Wayne Wyatt, who is top coach 2 years in a row, he's an orthodontist. So I was all about learning all about, the way that he does things. So like, 6 practices and it's, yeah. So anyway, so that's the story. So yeah, take some time and you can look through all this stuff. And, here's of course the Beachbody challenge. This gives you a lot of really good information about the challenge, the 1-pack sheet. So if you ever want to print this out and show people about the different challenge packs and things like that. These are things you could print out, and put in your store if you ever wanted to.
Right.
Carl Decker's introductory. There's banners, templates, web tools. Just go through this, a ton of stuff. But it's really good stuff for, especially for new coaches. And then the success tab is awesome. That's your personal development that you get with your business services fee. And besides, of course, whatever you buy. But this has videos and has a bunch of different things. It's really, really cool stuff. New information, content, audio. I actually have a subscription to Success Magazine, totally separate. It's awesome. I get it online. But this is good stuff. You can subscribe and get daily stuff, and it's again, a bunch of free content, but it's good stuff.
Wow, this website has a lot more on it than what I initially thought. I think after just doing some research and reading through some of these tabs and getting that information in my head, I'm going to be ready to blow it up.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then I'll just leave you with this. One thing that I do, just if I just want to sign up a free customer, is I know the teambeachbody.com website like the back of my hand. I know every single part about it. So when I talk to somebody, again, you always want to focus on giving before you receive. So I'll prepare like a little audio and I'll say, hey John, it's great for us to talk, hey, I want to run through with you some awesome free value that the teambeachbody.com website has that I think you would really like. And then I'll point him to certain things. And then I'll tell him that basically if, like, let's say I want to add somebody to my list, like as a free customer. Because that happens all the time. I meet somebody in passing, I'm not looking to sell things always, but I want to add them as a contact. So I've always got my Beachbody mobile app, and I'll always mention, hey, what's your email address? I'd love to send you some, our Beachbody website. They've got some awesome free value, some amazing recipes and nutrition. I'll kind of gear it towards whatever we were talking about or whatever, so that they're not giving me their email address for free. We're giving them value. And
Right.
then from there, you could start the conversation saying, hey, how you liking the site? You know, is it me, you know, is there anything I can help you with, direct you towards? And that leads into, of course, it might lead into something and it may not. But if you notice, there's a lot of subliminal stuff here. So these are the little, you know, it's like, anyway, so the people, you know, the one thing is the people that I attract are the people that, you know, would pay $1,200 to go to a Tony Robbins seminar. They're probably not the best people to coach, but the one thing that I do know is how to do sales and marketing. I mean, that I'm in terms of providing value. And I think in your mind, you have the same thing as me innately. We're always thinking, how can we help? How can we help? So I have to run because it's 9:53.
Yeah, thank you.
And I appreciate you waiting on me to take this call. I really do. You've answered a lot of questions, and I think just simple research, just looking on the site, going through these tabs like you showed me, I think I'll get the information that I'm looking for, and you know, I'll be able to do this, you know, the way I want to do it, because I'm the kind of person that, you know, once I learn it and I put my focus and energy towards it, I mean, it's kind of like I've got the blinders on. I just go for it full force. So I know that once I get the information, this is going to be really good for my practice and my patients. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Stop share. All right, and I'm gonna record this, so I'll actually post it so you can view it again if you want.
Okay, I appreciate it, Jason.
All right, guys, absolutely. I'll see you later. Good night.